The one thing that Charlie Briggs knew for certain was that he was destined for something great. Don't let the mild-mannered exterior fool you. Within Charlie Briggs was one shining moment that would forever impact the world. A moment that would send ripples throughout the universe, changing it forever. There had to be. That one thought. That one thing he knew deep in every fiber of his being. His destiny. That was the only thing that got him through the day. That beyond all the office memos and reply-alls and the spreadsheets, he was meant for something greater than all this. It wasn't clear when Charlie first realized that he was meant for something greater. It was just something he always knew. His whole life, everyone told him he was special. His parents, his teachers, everyone. Charlie was special. It never occurred to him that he wasn't. Even in high school, when he didn't have any accomplishments to speak for, that didn't negate what he knew deep down. He was destined for greatness. But for Charlie at this age, as with all boys this age, that knowing and not being able to do anything about that knowing filled him with angst. And then he met Joy. If Charlie Briggs knew his whole life that he was destined for something great, being with Joy was the first time that he actually felt it was true, that it was possible, because she saw it in him too. Joy actually made him want to be a better person, a person he didn't think it was possible to be. But nothing worthwhile ever truly, and as you can see, there is no joy in Charlie's life at the moment. Charlie's life at the moment was merely a pit stop for the life he was meant to lead, the life that awaited once he fulfilled his destiny, his one shining purpose in life. But some days, this pit stop felt more like a detour, and the days would drone on, blurring into one another to the point where Charlie was just happy for something, anything, to break up the monotony. Something like a serendipitous run-in with his college roommate Trevor. It was a heartwarming reunion to be sure. And after some drinks and small talk, the conversation turned to the glory days of college. The month Charlie agonized over declaring his major, the parties, and of course, the first day of the rest of their lives. And all the nostalgia turns into how they're doing presently. Trevor talks about starting his own company at 25 that just went public. His husband and their adopted children and their house in Connecticut and his townhouse on the Upper West Side. Trevor breezes through these details as nonchalantly as if he were giving a lunch order to his intern. But enough about me. How you doing, Charlie? Fine, is all Charlie can muster. But alas, the hour has gotten too late. Trevor has to catch the first plane back east in the morning. Really? Let me. My treat, Trevor insists. Fuck you, thinks Charlie. And as Trevor settles the tab, Charlie's mind wanders, back to that simpler time of college. Through the fog of cramming, and parties, and experimentation, only one memory from college truly stands out. That fateful day during winter break of freshman year, when Charlie Briggs let go of Joy. It's better this way, Charlie said, convincing himself as much as he was her. Our lives are just starting. We can't hold each other back. Charlie knew he was breaking her heart, but it was for the best. Surely she had her own destiny to fulfill, and he had his. And by holding on to the past, by not going all in on this college experience and subsequently adulthood, they were keeping each other from their destinies. Charlie's destiny, that purpose in life he needed to fulfill. It really was better this way. Charlie tried his hardest not to live in the past, but that seemed near impossible since his present seemed so bleak. So when the invitation to his high school reunion came in, our hero was torn. Could he face his old friends knowing how his life was now? There was a certain comfort that his friends got stuck in their hometown, tied down to their families and mortgages. He still had a destiny to fulfill. But then he saw her. And Charlie would let Joy pass him by. Something needed to change. Everyone that Charlie had ever known or loved was progressing in their lives, and he was stuck. This pit stop was no longer a detour. It was quickly becoming the journey. A journey he'd be stuck on for the rest of his life if something didn't change. That job was holding him back from his destiny. Charlie was better than that. He had a purpose in life. It was time for him to find it. He was going to make things happen. Make his own path. For once, he would be the master of his own destiny. Today was a good day to be alive. Briggs Consulting has its first potential client meeting. This first meeting would set the trajectory for the rest of Charlie's life. Sure, it was just a potential client meeting, but potential has the capacity to turn into greatness. And nobody knew that better than Charlie Briggs. Charlie feels deep in his gut that this would be the day that he fulfilled his destiny, that he found his purpose in life. It was sort of like a sixth sense, like when you look down on the sidewalk to see a dropped 100, or you don't get on that plane that crashes tomorrow. He just knew. Today was going to be the day. And then it happened. And once again, he would leave joy behind. Charlie doesn't know why he runs. Perhaps it was towards his purpose in life. Today was the day. He could feel it. The day that our hero would fulfill his destiny. It happened. Did you miss it? Let's take you back. If Charlie had been told he was special his whole life, if he hadn't met Joy, only to break her heart, if he hadn't declared his major so hastily, been stuck with a worthless communications degree that stuck him in a soul-sucking job that he hated, and subsequently quit so that he could find his true purpose only to come face to face with the ultimate, what could have been, causing him to escape to an elevator, he wouldn't have closed the doors so abruptly on Hal and Meg. Oh yes, Hal and Meg. See, they were just strangers in the world. Strangers to us, strangers to Charlie Briggs, strangers to each other. And if Charlie hadn't so abruptly closed the elevator doors on them, they never would have met. Nor would they have spent the empty elevator ride together chatting the whole way. A chat that would end too quickly. Wouldn't it be great to continue this over drinks sometime? How about tonight? And that date would lead to many more dates. And many more days until the one day where Hal decides to pop the most important question of their lives, which leads to the most important day of their lives, the birth of their only child who never would have been born if her parents hadn't met because of that stranger that closed the elevator doors on them so abruptly all those years ago. This baby was very important in the grand scheme of things, you see. She had her own destiny to fulfill, a destiny which... well, that's a story for another time. This story is about Charlie Briggs. Back in that elevator, our hero Charlie Briggs achieved his purpose in life. Hal and Meg meet, their baby was born, Charlie's destiny had been fulfilled. What would he do with the rest of his life?